All right, clarification is clearly needed as to which age groups are now approved to receive the vaccine. So here to clear it all up is Dr. Ian Miskin, COVID response team head at Clalit in the Jerusalem district. Thank you, doctor, for joining us.
Good afternoon, good evening. Well, what's happened is basically we saw the challenge of letting the 11th and 12th graders get to their bagrut, to the matriculation, without having to be in quarantine left, right, and center because people would be positive in their classes. So a decision was made to vaccinate those of the age of 16 to 18, which would enable them, if they are contacted, if they do get contact or get exposed to people who are positive, would enable them not to go into quarantine, which would enable them to actually study properly, not from home towards their final matriculation exams. This is deemed to be important enough to push them forward in their priority to get vaccinations. But the people we really want to get are the over 60s, and we're doing pretty well there. We've got over 80% in some parts of the population. We're doing a little less in other parts. And we are continuing to vaccinate all those over 40, and also teachers, people in prison officers, and other parts of the population would be deemed to be necessary.
So here's the question. What happens to those of us like me between the ages of 19 and 39? We're just falling in this loophole. When will I be able to get vaccinated?
Well, either you start teaching, which is an idea, or else we reckon that within about a week or two, we will be vaccinating all and sundry, yes. We realize that, we can't keep going on as we are. It's causing a lot of tension in the population. And if we are sure that we'll be getting the vaccines, then we will definitely be lowering the age as far as, in other words, over 16s will be able to get vaccinated, which is what we really want to get done. We know how to do it. We can know how to do it pretty fast. We also, of course, are vaccinating the second vaccination for all those who've got the first. And yes, and I think we're doing a pretty good job. We are yet to see the results of what our teams are working at. I'm talking teams who are working 12 hours a day to get the vaccinations done. And it's not an easy vaccination to be done, which is one of the reasons that it's been deemed to be given in the Kupot rather than in the schools. And our teams are actually doing it. But we have to be sure that we will have enough vaccinations to give the second vaccination to all those who've had the first. Yes, we're working on it.
There was an article in Haaretz about Israeli expats coming to Israel to get the vaccine because they have to wait so long in the countries that they live in. Can Israeli citizens who aren't residents get vaccinated if they come to Israel? Can they pay for it privately, or do they have to have health insurance in order to come to Israel and get vaccinated?
I think that's one of the great things about this country. You cannot buy the vaccine. You cannot use your money. It's not a question of those who haves and have-nots. The have-nots will get it as soon as together with the haves. In other words, Israelis who are coming back from abroad who do not have continuous Israeli health vaccinations will not be allowed to get the vaccinations. In other words, we will not have health tourism, reverse health tourism, Israelis coming back to get the vaccinations. Getting them instead of those who've been here the whole time.
Okay, one last question very quickly. There's some speculation that Israel's massive vaccine push could lead to a new strain evolving in Israel. How likely do you think that is?
Well, that's a question way over my head. I think what we are seeing that the British vaccine, the British strain as we call it, which is very able to cause people to get them sick faster than the others, it has conquered the country again. In other words, the Brits are here, and we'll reckon that by the end of this month, about 70 to 80% of all people will be infected with the British variant. The question is, will we be able to keep out the other variants from coming in, if it's the Brazilian one or the South African one, which is why we're talking about a lockdown on the country of people who are coming in who will have to spend 10 days in quarantine. We think it's very, very important to do this.
All right.
As to a local-born strain, well, I don't think we're talking about that at this stage.
All right. Well, hopefully we won't have to talk about that at any stage. Dr. Ian Miskin, thank you so much for your insight.
Thank you very much.